Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. As you probably know and can see on the screen, we're here to talk about how you can close faster and report smarter with Spreadsheet Server and Syspro. My name's Andrew Longland. I'm the Managing Director of HIT Technology, one of the Syspro partners in the UK. We'll be running through what Spreadsheet Server is all about. And I will introduce you to a couple of colleagues from Insight Software as well. If we can just click onto the next screen, Andrew. There we go. So I'm joined today by Andrew and Anna, who are both from Insight Software, the authors of Spreadsheet Server. I'll let them just do a quick introduction of themselves. Andrew, if you want to go first.
Yeah. My name is Andrew Tolti. I'm ERP Channel Manager here at Insight Software. I oversee the Syspro partnership, and I'll pass over to Anna to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Sagan. I'm the Solutions Engineer, and I work with our channel partners to use Spreadsheet Server, and looking forward to showing you how it helps.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. So Andrew and Anna will take you through some information about Spreadsheet Server and also a demo of the solution. But before we get into that, just a little bit of background about HIT Technology for anybody that doesn't know who we are or what we do. We are, as I said at the beginning, a Syspro partner in the UK. We've been looking after Syspro customers across the UK and Ireland for over 17 years now. And we're recognised as the leading and longest established independent Syspro premium solutions partner in the UK. We have a team of multidisciplined and very experienced consultants and support staff and service delivery staff, majority of whom actually come from manufacturing and distribution environments, so they understand what it is that our customers are doing, what their problems are, and also speak the same language rather than just being technology gurus. They understand what's going on in your business, and we look to provide guidance around Syspro with that being at the core of everything we do. But we have a number of other solutions that we offer that sit around the Syspro ecosystem, and Spreadsheet Server that we're going to look at today is one of those. We look to partner with organisations and solutions that offer added value to what Syspro can do, but keeping everything within Syspro at the core of what we do. That's enough, I think, probably from me and talking about HIT Technology. Now I'm going to hand over to Andrew and Anna, who are going to talk to you about Spreadsheet Server.
Perfect. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that, and welcome. I appreciate everybody joining today. Anna's going to be doing the demonstration in a bit. I'm just going to give you a little bit of context as to Insight Software, Spreadsheet Server as a whole. Insight Software, we were formed back in 2018 through the merger of two companies, Global Software and Hubble. We were an acquisition first company with over 30 in total. Early last year, we shifted in our direction, really focusing on streamlining our portfolio and investing in our flagship solutions, and one of which is Spreadsheet Server, which you're here to see today. So in the grand scheme of things, just from this slide, we enhance, develop connected solutions for the Office of the CFO, really agile self-service tools that put business users like yourself fully in control. We're built on granular transactional level data, meaning more automated processes, eliminating those pesky errors, really eliminating any reconciliation issues, and really giving you the insights that you can trust, and that your business can grow as a whole. And just like tying in our partnership with Syspro, we have been a partner of Syspro for over 10 years now. We really have helped Syspro users get better access to their data and turn them into reports that drive more strategic business decisions. Having really sound, clear, easily digestible reports with live Syspro data is invaluable. And I feel like every single conversation that I have with a Syspro customer, that's exactly what they're looking for. And especially in your industry, in the manufacturing industry, you help make the world really move on a daily basis. So having that live data where you can make those strategic decisions in real time is completely invaluable. So really moving on to this slide, it's actually a really poignant slide just on how costly manual processes are to you and your teams. 88% of manufacturers say manual workflows are causing them to lose business. On average, 5% of annual revenue each year. I would like to bring Andrew back in terms of your experience in the industry, and do these data points correlate to what you're seeing with your clients, and where do you typically see manual?
Yeah, absolutely. Reporting and doing things manually is one of the biggest drains of resource that we see across our customer base. And yeah, that doesn't just apply to reporting, but I think it's more prevalent in reporting and getting access to the data. We all know Syspro holds huge amounts of data about the operations of the business, but it's then getting it insightful information that's the real value, and trying to do that in a coherent and efficient way is the golden nugget, I think.
Oh no, absolutely. So then I appreciate that adage, and I think moving on to what modern reporting is. I know modern reporting is different to each and every individual. Every company has their own vision of what they want for the future. Modern reporting to us here at Insight Software really is this slide in a nutshell. Multi-source dashboards that bring your financial, operational data sort of like in one refreshable view. Having the ability to drill down to the transaction level, so you can really click any number and see what's behind it, even a picture of the invoice. And with that capability of no-code query designer, you can be the builder. And finally, on the bottom right, distribution manager. If you have reports that need to be viewed company-wide, distribution manager automates this process. So it's really mapping it once. Let's say you want to send the CEO the income statement on the 1st, 15th of every month. You map it once, and then that's done. So it's that's really modern Syspro reporting that we envision and what we have. And then Spreadsheet Server, it's really, in a nutshell, it's an Excel add-on. We sort of like live and breathe Excel here at Insight Software. It just sits in the ribbon of Excel, connects directly to Syspro, that live connection. We do have connections to over 140 other ERP systems, as well as 200 other databases. So in terms of the connection and the expansion, if you do have a Syspro, obviously with your Syspro ERP system, but if there are other entities within your portfolio that have other systems, we can definitely work towards connecting to those as well. So if you're living and breathing in Excel on a day-to-day basis, then Spreadsheet Server is going to be extremely intriguing moving forward. And it really comes down to these 4 things that Anna's going to dive deeper into: create, drill, report, automate. That's really the crux of Spreadsheet Server. So really kind of like tying everything together, I've kind of like touched on this just before. You can really drill down into journals, subledgers, and documents with one click to get straight to the transactional level detail. And because it's built right into Excel, there's no new tool to learn. So I know there are so many different options out on the market, and sometimes you have to do all the training, the extra sort of like intense courses. But with Spreadsheet Server, it's just Excel, and that's one of the biggest drivers of what people love about Spreadsheet Server. And then diving deeper, the query designer, it's really that drag and drop interface, lets you build those customer reports in real time, no coding, no IT support needed. So it really eliminates all those kind of barriers. And as I mentioned just before, our distribution manager function, it really kind of this as that extra adage of automating the process, really streamlining efficiency. And this, I'll keep this slide up just for a bit so you can see the different types of pre-built reports that we have. I know whenever Anna and I do demonstrations and we have conversations with prospective customers, seeing these pre-built reports that are specifically designed for Syspro users, it's a real winner. It really, the full library of reports that we've designed, it really gives you the opportunity to not just start from scratch. It gives you that template that gives you that kind of foundation moving forward to build on. And we can definitely go into more details throughout the session today. And one little case study, this is probably my favorite case study that we have here at Insight Software. With Graphic Plastics, they've been a Syspro user since 2001. They were really hesitant to make any changes, which is a common occurrence with a lot of our customers that kind of set in their ways, or they have people that have been at the company for a long period of time and they have their processes which work for them, but they get to a point where they realize that they need to update, modernize, change, and really once they added Spreadsheet Server, they cut their month-end close by 2 full days, 0 disruptions to their existing workflows, and it's just been a great resource and tool for them moving forward. And it's a great sort of like avenue into passing things over to Anna to really showcase exactly what Spreadsheet Server is and what it can do for you and your teams. And please, like Andrew's mentioned in the chat, if there are any questions that come up throughout, please put them in the chat. We really want this to be as interactive and as engaging as possible. So.
All right. Well, I hope you all can see my screen okay. Is Andrew, you see it all right?
Yeah,
that's
good.
Perfect.
Perfect. And that was a great example too of just how customers have been able to, and graphics specifically, and how, you know, being able to spend more time analyzing the data, looking at the data versus having to put together a bunch of reports or modify, you know, standard reports that come out of the system that aren't exactly the way you want it. So this really gives you that freedom and flexibility because you're getting the live data, but it's in Excel. So you're in your happy place for a lot of people, and you're also, but you're also getting to the answers quickly, which is what you really want, right? Because it's saving a lot of time and helping me, you know, move throughout the day. So, you know, for example, here with this income statement, again, this is just an example, but all I have to do to get my answers here is open up the workbook. And then I can come in here and change a year, change a period, change a department or something else, and my balances automatically update. And so from here, when they update, I can then drill down. So not only getting the live data, but now I can say, okay, what is exactly behind this number, right? So I can take that number, hit my drill down button. It brings me back my details. And I can say, all right, here we have this. Now I need to dig a little deeper. No problem. I can go directly from here down to my journal level details. So now I can drill down and see journals that were just posted. So I've got that quick and easy access to my data, so I can see exactly what's going on. But not only that, it really doesn't end here. So this is where Spreadsheet Server, and you're going to hear me say this a couple of times, it can be as simple as you want it to be or as comprehensive as you want it to be. So out of the box, install Spreadsheet Server, installs in about an hour. It's pre-configured for your general ledger. You can automate the reports. You can create your own, which you're going to see here in a minute. But it's going to give you drill down to the balance and journal level detail, all ready to go. Now you might say, well, I really need to go from here to somewhere else. No problem. You can create paths from here to other places. So whether it's somewhere within your Syspro environment, or maybe it's data that lives somewhere else, right? It gives you the ability to create paths to other environments, but it also gives you the ability to go and dig into a balance to get those lower level details. So you can get there, which is something that is really nice, knowing that, hey, the data's in there, I need to get to it, no problem. All right. So your full drill down capability, you saw me pull this in here, and you might have said, well, that's nice, but I'm going to need that in Excel. Well, we've made that easy. So I can come up here and say, instead of drilling, just hitting that button and drilling down to that panel, I can say drill to worksheet. Now I could have gone and copied those results in the panel and drill and put them into Excel, but this is kind of a quick and easy way to do that. So it bursts all those details. I could have done the same thing with my journals. Or let's say I want to compare these two numbers. All right, no problem. I want to compare these two numbers, and I went them Excel. I'm going to drill. I'm going to highlight both of them, hit drill to worksheet. And what it will do automatically for me when I hit that compare numbers is it gives me a variance. So it automatically creates a variance in Excel. So then I can get this off to whoever needs it quickly. I'm on my way, right? I could have done that, with more than one, more than two balances as well. So it just gives me a nice and easy way to be able to analyze that data, drill down on the data, and get to my answers quickly. Now, how does this all work, right? If with Spreadsheet Server, we have formulas in Excel. So you're going to see here in a minute, if you can copy and paste, you can create reports. Very easy. And if you take a look up here, we have formulas that are pre-configured, and don't worry, you don't have to know how to put that together. It puts it together for you just using accounting parameters. But if you take a look up here, it's just essentially referencing cells that pulls back that answer for you. So when I went and if I want to change any of these things, my balance will automatically update as well. Okay. So, and I just kind of group these away just for the report and the presentation of the report, but that's really what's happening underneath. So whether or not, you've got your income statement, or you got multi-company people coming from data coming from multiple places, or you're doing upgrades and you want to have like test and prod and all that, that's fine too. It gives you that ability to be able to do that really easily. So let's pull in some data. I really feel like that's where the rubber meets the road, how easy it is to do this. So I'm going to go to Spreadsheet Server Formula Builder. And like I said, I don't have to know how to put this formula together. It's going to do it for me, excuse me. But if you take a look up here at the top too, we've got formulas that do different things. So this one's going to bring back a balance. We've got formulas that burst out detail. So really, however you like to see the report, these will bring in non-GL data, so operational data, which we're going to see here in a minute. But all I'm going to do is come in here. I'm going to bring in a single balance from the GL. I'm going to put in accounting parameters. So I'm going to choose a year of data that I want to see. What period? Do I want actual or budget data? Do I want monthly data, quarter, year-to-date, life-to-date, range? Down here, you're going to see I can choose different parameters for my GL parts. Now, you might say mine is a little different. That's fine. We have a lot of different versions of this, and if it's something that's totally different, it'll be customized for you. So it's no problem. So I'm going to put everything on the column and just keep my account and type and group on the row. I also have these great lookups here too. If I need to look up an account to be able to pull that in. So I'm going to say, all right, I want to bring in all accounts starting with 4. And then all I have to do is click insert. So I just put in accounting parameters. And then when I drill down, you can see, yep, there's all those accounts starting with 4. So building out this report is all about copying and pasting. So copy down. I can do, lists of accounts. I can do ranges. I could say, let's do our groups or types here. So let's look at all of my, expenses. Do that there. Apologies. Okay. And if you're in Excel and you're like, I'm not really sure what the exact value is, no problem. All I have to do is right click, go down to Spreadsheet Server, and hit Locate Segment. We've got these great lookups here for you too for all of your GL parts. So I can build out a report just simply by customizing it by line item, right? And then just using Excel as my front end. So you're using Excel as your front end to be able to create reports. Now from here, if I just copy and paste over, now I'm just simply changing periods. No longer are you constricted by only going back 2 periods, right? You can go back into a space and time or a date and time and be able to get to the balance that you're looking for. So let's say Q1, and we'll say Q1 from the previous year. So I didn't have to be technical. I didn't have to know where all the files and fields and tables are. I just simply put in accounting parameters and copy and paste it over. So I'm going to pause for a minute. Just want to get any questions that anyone might have, about building the report. Was it that easy? That kind of thing. I'm happy to dig in, or if there's a scenario you're thinking about.
So no questions so far, Anna. You're obviously showing it very, very well that everybody's comfortable.
Okay. Yeah, hope everyone's brain's kind of turning and thinking about, all right, what are some things now that I'm doing that, this eliminates data dumps, this eliminates reformatting, this eliminates having to be super technical. You can get to all of your data, create the things that you want, and have it be just there when you open up Excel. Now, one of the cool things you can do here as well is be able to say, well, I really want to see this data. I want to drill down into each one of these, but I don't want to have to, click drill down. Well, we created an easy way to be able to see everything. So I want to see all my revenue accounts. All I have to do is hit expand GL row, and it's going to kick everything off for me. So now it's showing me all my revenue accounts, the totals, and then I can drill down into each one of them. Okay. Now, some of you might be asking, all right, that looks good, but I've got a bunch of reports today that are, I don't want to have to recreate the wheel on that. And the answer is no problem, right? We can take reports that you have today, for example, and we can put our formulas behind the static balances and bring that to life. So if this was one of your reports, all I would have to do is use my formula builder. Let's delete that formula out of there. And then I could just hit shift existing data, and it would actually put in all the rows and columns for me. So I can convert static reports to spreadsheet server reports, just putting the formulas behind the balances. So you can convert those reports so you're not having to reinvent the wheel, keep the formatting, all the things that you like, no problem. But at the end of the day, you're enabling yourself to be able to get live and dynamic data, drilling down to the details, using Excel as your formatting. The rest is just, colors and all of that. We have a great group of, financial templates that you can absolutely leverage and use and automate. But as you can see here, it's not just financial. We can get to all of your data. So things like, sales orders, inventory, purchasing, manufacturing, AP, AR. We've got a ton of examples here. So if I wanted to look at my sales order distribution, for example, I can come here. This can be automated. You can see here, this is doing a total. I can come in and let's change the date on this. And let's just say 2019, right? My data updates to add that extra year on there. I can immediately drill into any of those balances to see exactly what's going on. I can, of course, take any of my details here. I can select them, put them into Excel if I want to, just as easy. Or I can have a formula, which one of our formulas does burst the detail out. So I can have the formula here, and for this example, I do have that set up where I changed the date, it updated my totals, and then I can just hit run report, and it's going to update my details below. Okay. So you have a really nice head start here. You've got a ton of reports set up. You can automate, even if it was your operational reports today, you can automate those as well. So whether it's financial or operational, you're able to get to all of your data, have full drill down capabilities, be able to analyze that data, eliminating data dumps. We have different types of users too. So you could have a user that would they'd receive this report, they can change a parameter, they can drill down, they can see all the details, but they're not really building the report. Everything you saw me do today is the mid-level user, which is our power level user. And that will enable you to, build financial, operational reports, all using that formula builder. And to answer your question, does that person have to be technical to be able to pull in that operational data? And the answer is no. So just like I did with the with financial, I can come in here and say, all right, I want to pull in let's pull in some sales data. So do one category in here, or by salesperson that works. So it's doing an invoice count by salesperson to be able to see what is happening. I can put these things on the row or the column. So let's just put my salesperson on the row and leave everything else on the column. And then I just click insert. And then from here, I can copy and paste this over to create these reports or dashboards that you see here. So pulling in the data is something that is just using formulas. So that's really what a power user can do. And they can also do something called distribution manager. So what is great about this is, let's say I need to send this report out, right? I need to send it out and be able to send it out by stock code or by order number, or here I want to send this out by customer, for example. I could send this, I could say, okay, come in here, and I'd just create a distribution list that all it's doing is taking, so for here, it's that warehouse report. It's just saying, all right, on this warehouse report, send it to these different warehouses with these different people, whether emailing or saved to a file location. I can even say, well, if if let's say I want to put this and put formulas to values, it'll change formulas to values for me, meaning I don't have to be a user to receive this report. It'll send it statically. So it's all about automating, right? So I can send out reports automatically. I can schedule these reports to go out at any frequency that I'd like. My financial, operational, in Syspro, a lot of times out of Syspro. I can get to my data and I can analyze that data and get to those answers quicker. Now, on top of that, right, we have a higher level user, which is called a designer level user. And they are able to use our query designer and be able to create reports, and it actually builds the select statement for them. So it's not asking you to write SQL or anything like that. You're picking tables and fields and it writes it for you. It's pretty fantastic. And then I can just pull that into Excel and create the look and feel that I want. Or I can do things like if I created a report or created a query, my users could then come in and pull that query here to be able to do a quick lookup. Or if I needed to look up, let's say, a certain a customer name, right? I could create a list of customer names here. So it gives me the ability, again, going back to, it can be as simple as you want it to be. You can automate the things that you're doing today, kind of get that going, or it can be as comprehensive as you want it to be and be able to really do some high performance or KPIs, things like that as well. And what's nice is some people walk before they run. So they just want to automate the things that they have today, no problem. And then what ends up happening is saving a lot of time. These are, growing, more licenses and all that. And then they pick up more things along the way. Now, if people are like, no, I need to get to my sales and orders and do this, and I want to do that, right? Then it's definitely something that's there. And having access to these templates gets you way down the road without having to create anything from scratch. So what reports are you guys thinking about now that would be helpful?
Anna, I have just had a question sent through to me, actually, which relates to what you're just talking about there. With that list of the pre-built reports, what's the process and scope to get those up and running?
Well, we would just, get them to you guys, Andrew, right? And then the queries and the templates, and then they would just need to be just a couple of housekeeping things to get them kind of, put in the right spot. The queries, make sure the queries are connected, things like that, once you have Spreadsheet Server, and then they can be automated. So.
Awesome. Okay. And typically, how long is the implementation for Spreadsheet Server in a Syspro environment?
So for the first user with Spreadsheet Server, it takes about an hour, and then per user after that, it's really minutes after that. So, once you get the first one set up and connected, then after that, it's they're using some of the same settings. Now you can, just for, we have to get questions about security and things like that. You can put, segment level security on by user. If you say this person only has access to these divisions or departments or whatever you want to do, you can do that as well. And there's other additional different options for security too, for on the operational side. So.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know that we've got any other questions at the moment. No,
Are there
can't see
any
any others.
are there any things that you guys are doing that you think are missing from this list? Like, are there things that you're seeing now and you're like, hey, Anna, what about this? Sometimes we do have, those examples as well, but just wanted to throw that out there too.
Yeah, we'll see if any of our participants have any burning reports they'd love to see you put on that list. If they
Yeah.
want to stick that
Yeah.
in the Q&A or the chat,
Well,
we'll see what we can do.
Well, and that's really how and why we work with our partners so well over the years is because, we're listening essentially, right? So, things like we added a inventory and AP report where you can kind of go, an AR report where you can go back in time and pick up a value of something, which you can't do today in Syspro, right? So, we figured out gaps and things like that too, but it comes directly from you guys, from our partners saying, hey, this is something that is really useful. So, it's a nice partnership from that perspective.
Absolutely. All right. And I think you may have mentioned this when you were talking about the different user types, but to share a report that you've created with someone, do they have to have a license, or can they not, they can open them without having a license?
Yeah, I could send this to you, Andrew, right? I could send this to you. And in the distribution, I would just say, if you didn't have a license, I would say just convert spreadsheet servers, formulas to values. That's it. So it automatically would do that for me, to send to you. Maybe I'm sending it to a subcontractor. I'm sending it to an auditor. I'm sending it to the bank, or I'm sending it to wherever, right? I can just hit formulas to values to be able to do that. I will say, though, this is a tool that auditors really love because they can really get their questions answered quickly, and they're not having to, spend. They're able to finish it quicker, which is something that people like.
Yeah, I think it cuts down the back and forth of questions between auditors and the business trying to get answers to that drill down capability. Okay, I've got a value, but where's it come from?
That's right. And what's cool and what I've seen people do is in this drill down here, if you take a look up here at this little info button, right, they can copy and paste the select statement if they need to put that on their working papers to further document exactly where they got the data.
Yeah, amazing. Just seen a question come through from Andrew Gash. Other than being in an editable spreadsheet, are these reports significantly different to the reports Syspro produces? We don't make the most of Syspro reporting capability, but they seem to be exportable to Excel, but don't always feel usable, and some of the data in Syspro doesn't always show in a user-friendly manner. I understand what you mean there, Andrew. There's lots of Andrews on this call today, aren't there? They're very common, or very special, one of the two.
There's a couple Annas. There's a couple Annas too, which is
indeed. So in answer to that, yeah, I think what you're seeing with Spreadsheet Server here is much more powerful and user-friendly and adaptable than the standard fixed reporting within Syspro. And I think that's the same for a lot of ERP systems. The reporting that's built in is very much for almost what I would call the fixed page report. It's a static point in time. You print it or you view it on screen. 10 seconds later, it's out of date anyway. Whereas in Spreadsheet Server, with it living in Excel and live refreshed from the database constantly, obviously it gives you that ability to look at the live data, but also that drill down capability, which just doesn't exist in the built-in reports in Syspro.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that a little bit too, right? I mean, if you're obviously you can drill down, and if that data changes, let's say you open this up in the morning and then you put in journals throughout the day and it's been open all day or whatever, right? You can come up here and hit data refresh, and this will refresh this you can do workbook, worksheet, or if you just want to refresh this balance, right? It'll update that balance to what's in Syspro as of that moment. Right. So every time I open up the workbook, obviously the balance is refreshed with the latest and greatest. But if I have the workbook open all day, all I have to do is hit data refresh and the balances will refresh with the latest and greatest that's in Syspro. Now, if the earlier scenario was true and if journals had been put into the system and I drill down into this balance is going to be the latest and greatest here. So it could be actually slightly different, than when I drill down, because this is going to be an exact moment in time.
Yeah, and I think another important point to make actually is I know a lot of our customers use just standard ODBC refreshable spreadsheets from the Syspro database, which does mean that unless you're doing something clever in the SQL end, all the data is going to come down into Excel. That Excel file is going to become bigger and bigger and bigger, whereas with Spreadsheet Server, you've got that functionality doing the clever stuff in the background without having to put all of the massive amount of data into the spreadsheet.
Yeah, it goes about getting the data in a really smart way. So when I open up this workbook, right, and this balance refreshes, it's not going back and getting all of the details, right? It's going down to the database and just selecting that balance kind of based on the question, right, which is these parameters. So it's saying, hey, look at these parameters, go just select that balance out. You want details? No problem. I'll drill down and it's just going to pull back that subset of details. So it goes about it in a smart and efficient way, not only for your database, but for you and for performance and for all of those things, to be able to getting those answers quickly. So, but yes, so it really does it in a nice way that allows you to be performative as well.
Excellent. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions at the moment. Is there anything else that either of you want to cover off?
Just that there's 3 different types of users, like I said. So, think about, if you've questions around that or whatever, we're happy to dig in on another call and dig into certain examples and things like that as well. Or if you have scenarios, we get that all the time. So it's very, very normal for us. So we're happy to dig in and kind of go there and answer those questions. If you have further questions about what other, especially other Syspro people, I can tell you we've been working with Syspro for years and years and years, and it's something, especially the folks that are using the kind of standard reporting out, they really like this flexibility and the fact that, again, it's eliminating the data dumps to get to this point. It's allowing the flexibility because a lot of times it isn't in the exact format that they want. So they can just copy and paste over, right? They can create, 12 months, they can have 6 months, they can have rolling 12 months, they can really runs the gamut here. So it's something they really enjoy from that perspective.
Excellent.
I will just...
Sorry, go on, Andrew.
No, I will just piggyback on what Anna's been saying. The approach is a crawl, walk, run approach with the licensing. So never feel like you have to just go all in straight away. Really, even if it's just bringing on like one power user, seeing the huge benefit and the return on investment using Spreadsheet Server, and then kind of like build up that case and identifying other users within your organization that could benefit from utilizing a license of Spreadsheet Server. So it's never just investing fully into it right away. It can be sort of like a gradual process where you'll be able to just, if you start out with one power user, or if it's a designer, depending on what type of capabilities you're looking to achieve. But it's really just building on and using us as a resource. We never like to just sell you a license and then not give you the tools to be successful with it. So Anna and I are here, the rest of the Insight Software team are here to really nurture and give you the resources to be incredibly successful with this tool. And we definitely know that with our Syspro experience and with Spreadsheet Server as a whole, you'll see the value pretty instantaneously. So yeah.
I can tell you one thing that I've seen quite a bit, if you If you need to get to your data outside of the general ledger, right? You just need one license of designer. I want at least one designer license. Now, if you've got folks in there that are like have a lot of fun, working with the query designer and things like that, and want to be able to have more of that, flexibility, of course, obviously we've seen it all different ways, but you need at least one designer user for the data outside of the general geo.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just had a question come in asking what is the cost for using Spreadsheet Server for a power user?
So I'm just getting my UK in pounds.
Please, because you gave it to me in dollars once, and I was like, I don't want to pay dollars.
So for one power user, it's £1,705 on an annual subscription. So that's for one power user. And in terms of the designer as well, it's 2,212, and a viewer is 940 pounds. And then the distribution manager function as an add-on is 940 pounds as well. So that's the price points to each of the licenses. So
great, thank you. And in terms of the implementation, that obviously it's going to be slightly variable, I know, because each customer is going to be slightly different in terms of requirements. But what's the sort of average cost of implementation?
Oh yeah, so the implementation as standard, it really the installation and implementation package for up to 3 users is £1,200. Depending on which licenses you get, if you get a designer license, then there's specific trainings that come with it. So the e-learning and the workshop, the hands-on instructor-led workshop. So for the Crew Designer e-learning and workshop, that'd be £1,450. If you just got a power user, that would require the GL e-learning and workshop, which is £1,230. There are different variations of training, so it's really just depending on how many licenses you get, how many users, and really tailoring the specific training to your needs. But those are one-off costs, and the licenses are on an annual subscription. So
yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andrew. I can see there's another question inbound. Andrew is rapidly typing. I'm now going to put the pressure on him to type even faster. There we go, it's gone. So he said, so if I run a report, I am a power user, and anyone who I send the report to needs to be a viewer. Is that correct?
At a minimum, yeah. Yeah, if I run, well, yeah, so if I build the report, like that, when we built that example right here, to be able to get to the formula builder, basically, I have to be a power or designer user. A viewer license, basically, this ribbon would mostly be grayed out, meaning a viewer can, receive the report, they can change a parameter, they can drill down, they have a live connection, essentially, they can use the report. But but if someone does not have a license and you sent them a report with the formulas in there, or just, error out in a sense, right? But if you send with but one of the things you can actually do, let's say I wanted to send this to you really quick, Andrew, and you didn't have a license. Outside of the distribution manager, I can come over here and say, I can say just, convert the report to convert spreadsheet server formulas. So it automatically would do that. I would save a copy first, a real copy first, and then convert it and then send it to you, right? So we have a lot of little ways to be able to do that, but essentially, to answer your question, is you need a license to have that live drill down capability.
Hopefully that answered your question, Andrew. Thumbs up, that's good. All right. So we're nearing the hour mark, but if there are any other questions, please do pop them in the chat or the Q&A, and we will cover them off as quickly as we can. Is there anything else?
I'm just posting so this link to YouTube. We have a really good YouTube channel for Spreadsheet Server. Really great digestible videos on each of kind of like the functionality. So take a look at that. That really, if there's anything that really caught your eye today, a specific function, then this will be a great resource for you just to check out in your own time. So just wanted everybody to have that.
Thank you. We will send out a follow-up email to everybody after this event as well, and I'll make sure I include that link in that email so that everybody's got a copy of that as well. It's really helpful. Thank you, Andrew. I think there might have been another person typing a question. I saw some movement, but maybe not. But in the meantime, can I just say thank you to everybody for joining. It's been great to have so many people here with us, and also thank you to Andrew and Anna for presenting and demonstrating today. I think what we've seen is a huge amount of value in the product. Offers a much more efficient way of getting the data that's available within Syspro and actually utilising it in a much more insightful way. I can see why your company is called Insight Software, because that's exactly what you provide. But yeah, thank you both, Andrew and Anna, for your efforts with this. As I said, we will send out a follow-up email to everybody. There will be a link to the recording of this, so if you want to look back at anything, you'll be able to. I'll also put in that link to the Spreadsheet Server YouTube channel as well that Andrew's mentioned, so you can see that. And if anybody has any follow-up questions after this event's ended, please do reach out to me and ask any questions you have, and we'll come back to you as quickly as you want. And also, if you wanted to have a follow-up session and get into any more detail, let me know. I can organise something with the team at Insight Software to get into the real nuts and bolts, get under the bonnet of it, and maybe look at specific use cases that you have and see where you can get some value from the product, and then we can go from there. I think that probably brings us to a close. We've come to an end with 7 minutes to spare, which is amazing. Well done, guys. I will. I can't see any more questions coming through, although my machine's decided to go on a go slow right now. No, thank you everybody for coming along, and we will bring this to a close and say, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Bye bye.